Okay, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us in the Hachaim. We're in Parshat Ches, Pasuk Dalet. So Avram Avinu invites the guests, the Malachim, to his house, and he tells them, "Yukach nama atmayim, take a little bit of water, v'rachzu raglechem, and wash your feet, v'hishanu tachas eitz, and rest under the tree. Ve'echa paslechem, and I will bring you bread, v'sadu libchem, and you will nourish your heart." And after that you will go on your way. So obviously the Hachaim is explaining and is wondering if these were malachim, for what purpose did they have to wash their feet? For what purpose was he telling them rest under the tree? An obvious question is, why is he giving them food? And we know that he brought them cows, and he brought them tongues, and he brought them mustard. What's going on over here? If Avraham Avinu knew that these were malachim don't eat. So the Hachaim is going to teach us that there's a tremendous secret in this pasuk. And even though on its face this is a very small Hachaim, we learn from this Hachaim enormous amounts of Kabbalistic ideas. Some of them are above my understanding, but we'll try to explain to the best of our abilities. The Hachaim begins with a very simple lesson, that even though Avraham Avinu knew that they were malachim, he did not want to change the minig of how he acted when he brought in guests. Ulai, perhaps, the reason that he told them, take some water, that the accepted minig that he had when he had guests, that they would wash their feet, because guests that Avram Avinu had were normally suspected of being idol worshippers. Now, even though Avram Avinu knew that they were malachim, even though they were in the forms of humans, this was the accepted minig that Avram Avinu did, and he didn't want to change the minig. So why did Avram Avinu say, take a little bit of water? This is the proper way to act with guests. Don't be a fruma on their cheshbon. Now you're going to tell them to bring waters and take a bath and take a shower. They just came from a long trip. Avram Avinu said, do the minimum that you have to do to wash your feet, and that's enough. He did not want them to do too much work. Don't do extra work on my behalf. And shloi levaisham, because even though Avram Avinu ultimately would bring the water to them, he didn't want to embarrass them by going multiple times to bring water. He said, listen, I'll bring you a little bit of water, wash what you have to do to wash your feet, and then take a break. Now we're going to discuss what Avram Avinu was telling the malachim to act in a physical manner. Sheyikchu matmayim, really, the pasuk is teaching us that Avram Avinu was talking to the malachim on a completely different level. When he says take a little bit of water, it means Torah. As we know, ein mayim ela Torah. V'liyos ki ha-Torah yesh ba bechinas ha-pshat u bechinas ha-pnimius. Now, on a simple understanding, just like water is the foundation, the life force of the world, without water we can't live, without water we can't grow food, right? And obviously, in addition, oxygen as well. Oxygen comes from water, and therefore, just like water, which is the life force of the world cannot exist without rain, so too the Torah, the world cannot exist without Torah. Torah is the thing that is the life force of the world in a spiritual manner, right? The Torah is the spiritual life force of the world. Water is the physical life force of the world. Right, the Torah, right? Think of the Torah as the fuel, as the water that allows spirituality to flourish and help things grow and help things continue to be alive in the world, just like water. Now we know that in Torah there's the Parshat, and then there's the secrets. Hu guf shebar lehem Hashem ruchani magadla savirim. This body that they had wasn't a typical human body like we all have. This was a special physical thing that Hashem built out of air, says the Hachaim. Ube'erich atzmus hamalach yechoshev guf. Now, in relation to a malach who's 100% spiritual, this physicality is called a body, even though the ear has no physical field to it. But in relation to something that's spiritual, it's considered physical. Obviously, for us, that would be considered spiritual. and therefore v'siyaches elav b'chinas regel. Now, in Kabbalistic terms, the neshama and a body is called a regel. Ki yadua hadam liyodei echein. I don't know exactly why, but it's brought down in many places. There's a secret of the shoe, why we wear shoes, because it's supposed to cover the feet. The feet has something to do with the guf, which holds the body. But that's something that you have to know Kabbalistically. So Avraham Avinu was telling them that I want you to take care of your feet, which is referring to their physical feet, because that is the holding, what holds the spiritual part of the malach. V'ram is lahem shikumat mayim. How do they do this? Don't take physical water. Take a little bit of the Torah, which is the pshat, and that will allow you to rejuvenate yourself. V'yitaru behem ragleim, and purify your feet. Now we know that when a person wants to become tahar, he goes into the mikvah. Other people say sometimes he can't go to the mikvah, learn Torah. Torah has the same effect as going into the mikvah. Obviously, for certain things, you have to go to the mikvah. For example, if a person wants to go into the Beis Hamikdash, he has to go into the mikvah. An Isha is a nida, learning Torah is not going to help her. When she, at the right time, she has to go into the mikvah. But in a spiritual sense, there's certain things that the Torah has the same cleansing effect for the tumah as a mikvah. Again, halachically, when a person has to go to the mikvah, learning Torah doesn't help. We shouldn't confuse one with the other. The ragleim over here is their ragleim, the malach's regel that the Hachaim teaches us that was formed from the ear. In order to clean that, he was telling them take a little bit of water, which is a reference to the Torah. V'yishanu tachas eitz, and you should rest under the tree. Shiyat Torah shenikros eitz chaim. Rest by learning Torah, because we know that the Torah is called eitz chaim hila machazikim bo. V'lezeh amar ha'eitz, the tree, not a regular tree. Why is he telling them go rest under the tree? Because when he says the tree, it refers to the Torah. Gam amalhem sheyikhu pas lechem. Now, what is Avraham Avinu telling them to take pas lechem? Now, it's interesting. Lechem, more than any other thing that goes from the ground, is actually something that grows from all the elements of the world. It's the earth, the minerals in the ground, the rocks in the ground, the fertilizer from the animal. If you think about it, an animal eats all different types of things. It eats things that are tahar, means it eats things that are not tahar. It could eat insects, it could eat bugs. Other animals eat the meat of other animals, and they fertilize the field, and that creates wheat, that creates other things that we could eat. In addition, the wheat has to be broken down through human interaction, and then ultimately when we eat it, we actually ingest not just the physical part of it, but we also inject all the spiritual elements that came through all the different parts that took to grow the wheat. The word lechem is always a reference to the secrets of the Torah. And that will allow your actual nefesh to become satiated. A malach cannot be satiated only through Torah. Now, not just any Torah, but the secrets of the Torah, the deeper meaning of the Torah. We know that when Moshe Rabbeinu went up to Shemayim to get the Torah, the malachim were ready to give them the pshat. It was the secrets, the deeper meanings of the Torah that they did not want to give him, because that was something that they needed in order to rejuvenate them. When ultimately Moshe Rabbeinu was able to prevail on them and convince them that we deserve it, not them, as a present, the malachim gave Moshe Rabbeinu a very special present. Who was that? What was that present? The neshama of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. As it says, Shevi, the malachim gave Moshe Rabbeinu, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. And who is Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai? The ultimate master and teacher of Pnimis HaTorah. That is all referenced in the words Pas Lechem. The diktek lemer Pas Lechem, Pas sheyesh bechinas Lechem. Pas that has in it Lechem. Now, what does the word Lechem refer to? If you take the word Lechem, is the numerical value of 78. 78 is also 3 times the letter of Hashem. And as we explained, the word Lechem has in it all the different elements of the world, all the different life forces that Hashem created. That's hidden in the Lechem. And how does that manifest itself? In wheat. And then we take the wheat and we break it down in order to reveal the inner part, which is the bread. The wheat and grapes are one of the few two items that we actually process them in order to make a new type of food. So too, Torah, in order to get to the deeper meaning, we have to process it. So we see from here, and in the next Hachaim as well, that there's a secret that Avraham Avinu was alluding to in this pasuk, that he wasn't telling the Malachim to eat regular food. Rather, he was telling them that, come, I'm going to give you the secrets of the Torah in order to rejuvenate yourselves, to continue on your mission, either to tell Sarah that she was going to have a child, tell Avram, to save Lot, and to destroy Sodom.